Good morning, this is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. In today's video, this is going to be part 2 of the van, what should we call it? The, the van upgrade. So here we are on day 2. Day 1, I sorted out the bed. Originally the bed was this high. I chopped down the legs, made it much smaller, and now that's in the house. I needed to clear the space in order to work on this. Now today, what I've done, I've already taken the gas bottle out. There's a little dropout hole there. I'll film up there so I can see what I'm dealing with, because I'm not very bendy today. I was where I was hobbling about yesterday on the floor and everything. I'm a bit achy today, so gonna have to take things a bit easy. But I've just sort of emptied everything out as a matter of course. I've just got to take those water bottles out, and then today the work surface is coming out, and I may drop a shelf in here. I'm going to actually take out the gas system. I no longer need a gas cooker, and therefore I don't need a gas system. It's one thing I don't have to worry about getting certified as well. That's good. And then any future cooking will be done either on an electric induction hob or just one of those little briefcase gas cookers. But it's so rare that I need a hob type cooker these days, because I've got the microwave and I've got the air fryer, and they all run off electricity. I've also got to adapt this space down here, which is where the loo used to live. I'm going to put the fridge there, so I'm going to have to be making this slightly curved roundy hole. I think I'm going to have to make it a little bit squarer in order to accommodate the fridge. I may have to get a bit clever, assuming, that's one thing I haven't taken into consideration, assuming I've got the depth on it, because this is not a very deep work surface. So the fridge may stick out a little bit, in which case what I'm thinking, I may actually have to cut like a rectangular slot in the top just to keep the fridge in place. But I'll get the fridge out here at some point and we'll sort of match it up and see what happens. But anyway, I'll figure that out. And also a new sink has arrived, which is really good. I only ordered it yesterday, and it was on eBay, and I was expecting it not to arrive till next week, but it got here this morning, which is great. And it's just a little round sink. So I'm thinking of just kind of pushing it up to this corner here. It's like about 11 inches diameter, and because it's round, I can get a little tap stuck in the corner. The new tap's arrived as well. So the whole washing area can be reduced right down to this, and that frees up a lot more work surface. And also, obviously, if my footprint for the induction hob or the briefcase cooker can go there, and I'll still have enough space for my coffee machine. So hopefully it'll all work out well. But yeah, I'm going to take this out today. So anyway, I'll get on with it, and we'll see what's what. Right then, so I've undone it all. I've undone everything underneath. So the drain's off, the micro switch tap's been disconnected, the blue pipe is off, and the gas pipe is fully disconnected. So that's finished. And now the gas bottle is out. Originally I was thinking of putting a shelf across here, but then I forgot about this, which is the door stay. When you open the door, this door stay disappears, and when you close the door, it reappears. Now if there's a shelf here, no doubt at some point I'll end up putting things on the shelf that will end up getting crushed by this. So I'm just going to leave this as an open cupboard. I'll have my little gas bottles in here, got the dropout hole, so that'll be the safest place to store them. There'll just be the little aerosol cans this time, and whatever else, you know, could maybe, I don't know, stuff a spare blanket or something in here. I'll have a think. Right. Perfect. So this is going to be the template for the new work surface. In a weird shape here. That's just these wobbly van walls. I'll also repurpose the edging strip. So I'll have to get the router out. But before I do anything else, I need to get the fridge out here and start focusing on installing it. Okay, so this is a bit of a compromise. This is pushed back as far as it'll go. Now the bed comes out to here, so I'm hoping I'll be able to fully open the door, but it's gonna be tight. Right, before I do anything, I've got to get the wiring in place for this. I'll set up a new fuse on the fuse box and the buzz bar, just get a brand new feed straight to it. No messing about, and we'll be good to go. Right, I've also just realised there's a plug socket back here. Now once the fridge is in place and installed, this is not going to be accessible, so I'm going to have to relocate it. Quite where it'll go I've yet to decide, but I've got a feeling it may have to go on the side here. Right, so the fridge is now in. It's not perfect because I specifically made this piece of furniture very narrow, so it's a little bit sticky out, but it is all wired in, plumbed in, ready to go. So the power's supplied, and let's just turn it off again, and we're on the fuse box. It's on a 25 amp fuse to the 12 volt system and on the buzz bar there, so it's all good. I've just got to get a label on there to mark that off as the fridge. I also had to move the socket. There's blood on there. I cut myself on one of the wires. Yeah, there's no way I could have got to the socket inside, so I had to move the socket to there, and it's also connected to the one for the microwave up the top there. So now I've got to concentrate on the work surface, but I'm going to go and cut it out and sink the bowl into it, and then just connect everything up. And like I say, I'm not bothering with a hob this time. It's just going to be running water. So this is going to be the new sink. It's got a nice big fat lip on it, so even if I make a bit of a botch of cutting the circle, which I won't, there's plenty of forgiving hiding space. It's just a basic sink. It actually comes with the actual attachments, and this is an extendable hose, so I'm really hoping it's going to be the right length. Now originally I was thinking it might be kind of fun to have the bowl sat on the counter rather than flush with the counter, but in hindsight I think it might get in the way, and also it means I've got to get creative with where to put the tap. At least this way, if it's flush with the counter, I literally just drill a hole where the tap's going to go. And I've gone for a very, very basic cold water micro switch tap, and that will literally just one hole drilled in next to the bowl, and that will work beautifully. So before I do anything, I've got to get the old work surface out, lay it over a new sheet of furniture board, and then obviously cut it out. I'll do that with the jigsaw, and then I've got to use the router to go around the edge to put the groove in order to put that finishing edge strip on. And I'll get on with that, and we'll see what we come up with. There's the old work surface. Must make sure it's the right way round. And I'm looking for an exact copy. Right, that should be it technically. Let's go and do a test fit. Right then, moment of truth, will it fit? Yes, it will. Perfect. But I'm quite happy with that. So all I've got to do now is figure out where the sink's going to go. So there's the sink. Does it go at the back, in the corner? Do I bring it out a little bit? Bearing in mind I've got this thing here and this thing here, which is going to attach the surface to the van. Let's get that properly in place. I'm thinking about here, that could work, and then I can have little, washing up liquid and stuff along the back there, along with the tap, which would be here. I think it's going to be there. I think I'm just going to go for it. Right, look at the sweat. It's so hot today. After all that camping in the freezing cold weather, we've now got a really, really hot day. 2 hot days in a row, actually, and those are the days I decide to shut myself in my van and film things. Right, let's go and cut some more holes. This really annoys me about, particularly Wickes are bad at this. They put their labels on to their furniture board, but they use the cheapest paper and the cheapest labels, and they're sometimes really hard to peel off without leaving marks and scars. You think something like furniture board, especially if you're going to use the white finish, they'd make it so that the labels would come off without causing an issue, but there we go, that wasn't too bad. But that's all sticky with glue now, so I'm going to have to get some rubbing alcohol on there. I've got to clean this whole surface. I'm going to see whether I can get away with using the white surface. I've got to get rid of that pen mark and things. If not, I'll have to put some sort of vinyl. We'll see. Let's see how it cleans up. No, it's no good. I don't know whether this is just going to be a big white blazing hot spot on the camera, but it hasn't cleaned up. There are all sorts of marks all over it, so I cannot use this colour, but I'm pretty sure I've got some vinyl upstairs that I can pull out and use. In the meanwhile, I've just got to cut the trim edge around these 2 faces, and I can get the trim onto it and get it covered up. Well, get it covered first, then put the trim on, and then we're ready to install it. Hopefully you can see this okay. This is the router bit, and this is what's going to put the groove in the wood. You can see I've set it so that it's exactly halfway, and then, like I say, I think that's I think actually it's a 2mm thick bit, and it'll go as deep as that little bearing on the end, and that'll put the groove all the way along the edge. For which we can then put the trim. I must remember to put a little bit of a little groove on the end here as well. So let's give it a go. It's been a while since I've used this router, so I hope I remember how to do it. I forgot what a scary noise that makes. That's so loud. But there we go. Got a perfect groove all the way round. So all I've got to do is get some vinyl on this, and then we can tap the edge trim in, and then that's ready to go. Good stuff. Right, I managed to dig out the old vinyl that I used on the earlier build. This is the stuff I used for the work surface before, which is like a dove grey colour, or I could use this stuff, which is what I've used for all of the furniture. Now I think if I had the work surface the same colour as the furniture, it just wouldn't look right at all. I'm just praying I've got enough to cover the length of this. This is the side. I've wiped it all down, and hopefully there's enough here. Yes, there is. Right. Yeah, it's the only thing, when you've got a shiny, smooth surface, the air bubbles show up really easily. When you've got a textured patterned surface, the air bubbles aren't that obvious. But when it's smooth and glossy, even the slightest little speck of dust will show up air bubbles. But this is going on beautifully now. Oh no, I've got a spot of dust under there. There's nothing I can do about that now. That's fine. Because if I lift that up, the dust will have stuck to the underside. I'll have to dig it out from the underside, and that'll leave a, oh, the sweat's getting in my eyes. That'll leave an imprint. Oh, so hot today. Oh. Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 26 degrees Celsius. Tonight, you can expect a low of 15 degrees.
26 at the moment, which is, for us pasty Brits, it's too much. It's too much. Right, there's the circle. All right, is this going to work? I think so. Hopefully. Yeah, I think we got away with that. We'll just cut around the edge here. Yes, there we go. Perfect. And then we just got to go around the edges, take off the edges, put the edging strip on, and we're good to go. Something very satisfying about cutting this stuff out. And there we go. One work surface. I just got to get the edge trim on it, and we can get that in the van. And that is one nearly dropped work surface ready to be installed. And I'm not going to put the sink in straight away because I'm going to need this hole to get up underneath to put the screws in on the underside. So let's go and fit it. Right, so here we are. There's the sink. Now the real test is whether this that came with the sink is going to be the right length to fit into the little outlet that I've got down there. So let's do a test fit. There is the outlet tube, and there, yes, it fits. Look at that. So far, so good. And then next is, do I have enough blue pipe to be able to reach the bottom of the tap and still be able to reach to the bottom of the jerry can? And I'm going to think, yes, I do. That's literally at the bottom of the tap there. And yeah, the pump motor, as long as it reaches the bottom of the jerry can, which is there, I think we're good to go. There we go. Perfect. I'm really pleased with that. That's so good. And it's just enough to rinse your hands, rinse off a few bits. Obviously I'll seal that down when we're ready. But I've just got to get the electrical wires connected up to the micro switch tap. These wires, there's no positive or negative. The two wires I've got there, they simply complete the circuit. These snap fit connectors are so good. I just use them all the time. So there we go, that's it. Job done. You can hear the motor working. I'm not going to test it with water yet. I needed to seal things up a bit. Right then, so that is pretty much most of the things I needed to do to that work surface on that side of the van. So furniture's in, it's all plumbed in, all screwed in place. I do have to seal this down at some point. I get a tube of mastic. That is just kind of like a little finishing off thing. But the tap's in place, the water pipe is now connected, so that's ready to go. So I've got a running water system, I've got a fridge. Just need to put the microwave back, but that's pretty much ready to go. And we're done on this side. So tomorrow I'm gonna end for today because I'm absolutely exhausted. And then in part 3, I think we're ready to bring the bed back in, and we'll start building on the bed to make it much more substantial and get a bit of a tilt thing going on like this. But that'll all be in the next video. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm surprised actually that I could still move today, because yesterday I was doing the bed as well and I was sort of grovelling around. You saw it in part 1. and groveling around on the floor and just sort of carrying and lifting and stretching. And I was expecting to wake up in the morning and like today and not be able to move, but touch wood, so far I'm doing okay. I seem to be a bit more loosened up, which is good, because I was really creaking yesterday. Oh, that reminds me, I've still got to do the electrical thing. I might just do that before I pack up. But that'll be it for this video. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in part 3, which should come along hopefully within a few days. Until then, take care.